Hi guys, welcome to Step by Step Med, and today we're going to do an introduction to respiratory physiology. So we're going to start with the anatomy of the respiratory system, and here we have the upper respiratory tract, and this consists of nose and nasal cavity. You also have the paranasal sinuses, which are air-filled spaces that lighten the skull and help in voice resonance. We also have pharynx, which is subdivided into three parts, that is the nasopharynx, the oropharynx, and the laryngopharynx. We also have the larynx, which is also known as the voice box. For the next part, we have the lower respiratory tract, and this consists of trachea. We also have bronchi. We also have the bronchioles that end in terminal and respiratory bronchioles. We have the alveolar ducts and the alveoli. We also have the lungs. The lungs consist of lobes, whereby in the right lung we have three lobes, that is the superior, the middle, and the inferior lobe. And for the left lung we have two lobes, that is the superior and the inferior lobes, that is to accommodate the heart. The lungs is covered by pleura. We have the visceral and the parietal pleura. The visceral pleura covers the lungs, and the parietal pleura covers the chest cavity. And between the visceral and parietal pleura, we have the pleural cavity, which has lubricating fluid that reduces friction during breathing. So here is a diagram of the same. So we can see that in the upper respiratory tract, let me get the laser pointing. We have the nose here. We have the nasal cavity, as you can see here. We have the paranasal sinuses. We have the pharynx that is subdivided into three parts. That is, we have the nasopharynx here, the oropharynx, and the laryngopharynx that is adjacent to the larynx. You have the larynx, which is also known as the voice box. Then we have the trachea here. And the trachea divides into the bronchi. We have the right and the left bronchi. Then we see the bronchioles here. Then the alveoli, which is covered by a lot of capillaries to aid in gaseous exchange. And this makes up the lower respiratory tract. This is the upper respiratory tract. So what are the functions of the respiratory system? So the first function, we have gas exchange. That is, it delivers oxygen into the blood and eliminates carbon dioxide from the blood. We also have regulation of pH. It controls carbon dioxide levels, that is, by breathing rate. So for example, if you have a lot of carbon dioxide in blood, there'll be an increase in our breathing rate so that we eliminate a lot of carbon dioxide to control pH. We also have voice production. So the larynx contains vocal cords that vibrate when they are on exposure with air, so to produce sound. We also have olfaction. So the nasal cavity has olfactory receptors to pick out on odors. You have protection. So for example, the nose filters, warms, and humidifies inhaled air. The mucus and the cilia also trap dust, pathogens, and particles so that it doesn't reach the lower respiratory tract. We have reflexes like coughing and sneezing in case we have particles and dust. So we have thermoregulation, which is heat is lost in exhaled air. So what are the components of respiration? So first we have pulmonary ventilation. So the inflow and outflow of air between the atmosphere and the lung alveoli. We also have the diffusion of oxygen and carbon dioxide between the alveoli and the blood. We also have transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide in blood and body fluids to and from the body tissue cells. And the regulation of ventilation, which we are going to discuss more on that. Yeah, so thank you for attending this lesson. You're going to do more on respiratory physiology. Feel free to reach out in case of any questions.